Welcome to the Relationship Economy. I'm Jay Deragon, and I'm your host. As you've heard in other episodes, we talk about a lot of things happening within the social media world and how it's increasing utility to develop relationships, collaborate, and focus on business. But today we have a special guest, and today's topic is going to be the current dialogue going on throughout the social web about should I have a closed network or an open network? What's the value of connecting to thousands of people versus only those I know? And our special guest is Mike O'Neill with the Integrated Alliances. Mike and his team are the leading country's experts on how to use LinkedIn. And so I've asked Mike to join the show, and I wanted to get into a dialogue with our readers, Mike, about what is the difference in philosophy when people say, I don't want to connect to people I don't know, versus those that say, I'll connect to everybody.
Well, the answer to the question is, should I be in a closed network or an open network, is yes.
Yes, that's good.
And I guess it's no by default, right? It depends on who you are. If you're in an executive level in a big high tower, you got a big network, you got a big problem. You've got every job seeker, every vendor, everyone going after you. So you got a tight network of your peers at that level. The executive vice president of sales and marketing at American Express wants to be connected to his peer at Frontier Airlines, Southwest Airlines, Xcel Energy, something like that. So they've got their executive level stuff going on. But you know what? Most people aren't at that level, Jay. Most people are, a little further down from the notch there. So let's go down the notch, a couple job titles down the notch to director level or below. At this level out here, we're talking about having a brand. Well, what if you had a brand and no one knew about it? You got a personal brand. You look in the mirror, you got a brand. That's not why we develop brands. That's not why we're in business together. And frankly, we should have already gotten all the business from our friends, Jay. I mean, they should already be buying from us.
Right.
They should know that. It's the people who don't know us that are the next level out there that we want to reach in terms of having business relationships. It might be sales and marketing, could be recruiting, could be job seeking, could be just general business development. So let's take this scenario. You're born. Who do you know when you're born?
Nobody.
Nobody. Even mom and dad are strangers. Now let's go forward a little bit. First girlfriend. Was she a stranger?
No.
You dating your sister?
Well, I mean, I knew who she was, but
there you go. So you kind of get to know somebody, and that very first incubus of that is kind of how this kind of works. You connect to some people, and you don't know them. They're kind of on the radar screen. Eventually, some of these spring, and since you don't know which one is going to be the one that carries the golden egg, you got to overcompensate a little bit. And there's a philosophy around, should I be an open network? Well, yes, you should, unless proven otherwise. Let's discuss an example here. If I'm in sales and marketing and I've got my product is needed by this many people, hard to find that many people with a sample size of that.
True.
You need a big sample size to find the needle in the haystack. So with a big network, I've got a lot of needles in a big haystack. I can reach in that haystack and grab one.
I understand that, but some people say that others are out there just collecting connections, playing the typical male game of I've got more than you've got.
More is better, right?
Yeah. So, people say, but I get invites from people I don't even know, and all they're doing is collecting connections. So how would you respond to that?
You're creating an audience of people that might be buying your product or buying you down the road. That's why a Super Bowl commercial is so expensive. Because it's got a big audience. It's not a big audience of just current Miller beer drinkers out there. They're not advertising Miller beer to Miller beer people. They want people who are not buying Miller beer to go buy Miller beer. Let's use an example in a recruiting environment. Hard to find that guy who's got exactly that little information, that exact little job experience, and then all of a sudden he's also got to speak Portuguese. You better have an awful big network to find that little haystack there. The little needle in that little unit out there, not so easy to find if your haystack is this big.
Yeah.
Got a big haystack, you can grab it out. No, I think I like that one. You can be more picky with a bigger network full of different opportunities.
Let me just share an experience before we close out the show. As somebody who is constantly absorbing the activity, the dynamics, and the learning curves of all this social media space, I have found that when I don't have an answer that somebody asks me a question to, that I can go out on Twitter on Facebook and on LinkedIn and ask my network, do you know anybody who's an expert at this or has an answer to that? Because I love to be able to answer questions. But if I can't answer the question, I'm not going to throw out an answer I don't know about, so I go to people who have the answer. And you know what's amazing as I do research? One of the values I get is to be able to tap into the minds of thousands and thousands of people that I'm connected to give me information that I need. And you know what else is funny? It's a click of a mouse. The reach that I have and the ability to get information doesn't take weeks, doesn't take days. It's an hour. So, while this discussion will continue on in future shows and out there throughout the social web, should I be an open networker or a closed networker? I guess my own perspective is it all depends on your purpose. What do you want to accomplish? Certainly, you can accomplish more with more. So thanks for coming with us today, Mike. It was great. I want to have you back. Love these dialogues, these exchanges that we're having, and love the depth of knowledge that you have about all this subject matter. To all of you listening, thank you for joining us. Stay tuned. We'll have more shows with more interest and more things to share. Come on back.